internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Creation Muscusher, and today it's a little different leave no die that we are going to attempt. So you will see that I've made some mistakes and some misjudgment when it comes to the space I had to for my experience. So it's going to be a fun experiment with a lot of resistance and a lot of different of my leftovers. What is a leave no die? It's usually because there's different way you can do leave no die. Some people use stock solutions to dye their yarn. So they will do their jugs, and from there they will create recipes using their stock solutions. So if they have a 1% stock solution, some people will be grabbing 1 tablespoon of that 1% stock solution to use in their recipes, where I like to work with math. And if I want a 1% depth of shade for the specific yarns I have, I will weigh my yarn, and then from there I can extrapolate how much dye I will need. So this is not necessarily the way that I obtain my leave no dye. So when I do speckling, what I like to do is dip my gloved fingers in hot water, and I keep this because it creates a stock solution, but I do not have any idea how much dye there is in this. So this is how I obtain my leftover dyes. So I had a lot. I needed to get my stuff washed off before it goes bad. So that's how I've come up to the idea of using my pickle jar and try to dye yarn in it. Didn't work, but that was a fun experiment. So let's get into this. Okay, friends, we're doing a very different leave no dye than we usually do because we're going to use my pickle jar. So this is going to create a very one-of-a-kind color, that's for sure. We're going to be using some yarn that I'm going to be discontinuing on my website because they just never sell. So I just added some of my citric acid and I'm going to be going for it. So I have a bunch of leftover colors and I need my jars and my containers to dye. So let's have some fun, and hopefully we're going to see something interesting. So we're basically going to be covering. I might need to add more citric acid later on. We'll see. This should be an interesting experiment, I guess. Oops. Think. And each skeins I will be adding will definitely be different than the next one, simply due to the like layers that I'm adding of colors. So this should be interesting. I had black. I think I'm going to add some black. Okay. So this should be interesting. Okay. Let's add layers upon layers. Which color? I'm going to add the purple here. Okay, I'm going to need... Should I be wearing gloves? Yes. You are correct. I should be adding gloves, but I don't. For whatever reason, I'm not adding any gloves right now. This is going to be such weird colors. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's add some Caribbean blue, because I know this is going to take longer to strike, just because it's Caribbean blue and it always takes longer to strike. So that way, it should give a better coverage of the colors. If if I find that some of the skeins don't have a nice coverage when we're done with this, I'll just put them in in a in a pan and just manually work on it to incorporate some colors. And hopefully it's going to free up quite a bit of my containers because I need it. Some red, some, I believe it's aqua. That's going to be crazy. Crazy, my friends. I'm telling you. Oh, will I have enough? Oh no. Oh no. No. I think I don't have enough room. No. No. Come on. Oh no. I'm making a mess. I'm making a mess. It's a pretty mess. No. Man. So apparently 4 skeins of bulky weight is too much for zit. It's like a snow cone. And I can see oh, there's too much liquid. Crap. Oh no, no, no. That's okay. Okay. Oops. Oops. Okay, I don't have enough room for that last one. So we're just going to let it sit for a little while. Anyways, I can already see that there's like white patches over here and there. So what we're going to do sorry. Instead of doing the solar dyeing technique, we're just going to wait a little bit and I'll put those in a pan and finish up the work in the pan later on. Unfortunately. That's okay. Okay, I will sit in a pan in like maybe a half an hour just to have a chance for the colors to like set a tiny bit. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. So some of the color, most of the color should have strike because it is superwash merino wool. So it just strikes faster usually. Okay, let's swatch. Okay, so we do have some wider spots, which I was expecting because there's a lot of crowd people in this bath. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, not too bad though. Okay. Okay, it's not looking too bad. We do have some white spots that I want to cover a little bit. So what do we have here? Okay. Oh, green should help. Maybe not green. I'm not sure. Maybe not. We'll add some green because it's going to take a little, just a tiny bit. Okay. it should be interesting for the final result revealed. That's for sure. Okay. So now that we have applied, oh, maybe I should do some speckles. We're going to twist a little bit our skeins. Where is this? And now we have a little bit more room, but we're going to add some speckles. What kind of speckles should I add? Ooh, I know. I'm going to add some speckles of fluorescent fuchsia because this is a color that takes longer to strike. So we might still have some like splotch of speckles, but it's going to take longer to fully strike the yarn and settle. So we will have a better coverage, and with the colors we currently have, it should be very pretty. So I'm going to grab my respirator because we do not do speckles without a respirator, friends. Like I usually say, we only have one pair of longs. Please protect it. Okay. Respirator on. Let's do this, baby. Just making sure that my glove is fully dry before doing anything. Okay. Oh, I'm going to need to buy some more. And you can already see how much it's spreading in the water, which is good. We want that. And I don't want to create more of the jar, so I'm just going to slightly wet my glove in here. Okay. Oh, I don't know where we're going with this. I think I'm a little bit more tired than I thought I was this morning when I woke up because, whew, this is not where I thought the day was going to go. Okay, so now that we have done the speckling, since this is the last color and dry powder that we've added, we're going to do half an hour, and we're going to let it cook for half an hour. Now I'm very, very curious to see what's going to happen with this. We're going to see. This is fine. Everything is fine. We're good. Okay. See you in a bit. Okay. As I was thinking, the fluorescent fuchsia takes a little longer on the corner, which makes sense because this is where there's the least like heat going. So there's not only resistance when it comes to the dye, but there's also resistance when it comes to the heat level. But all in all, we are good to go. So, oops, we're going to just let it cool off completely before we are going to be washing it off for the excess dye. I'm expecting that we will see some of the fluorescent fuchsia like leftover either in the dye bath, or we're going to have some bleeding when times come to wash it off completely. So we'll see. This is my expectation, but I might be wrong. We might not have put as too much of the pigment in there. And just as a friendly reminder, anytime that you're using neon pigments in your dyeing, there will be bleeding. There is nothing you can do to avoid it, unfortunately. It's just the nature of the dyes. So okay, so this is turned off. I'm going to let it cool off, and we're going to come back later to wash it off. Okay, so let's do this. I am expecting to do a little bit more work just due to the fact that I used a neon pigment for speckling. So Fluorescent Fuchsia from Dharma Trading Co. is a fluo pigment, and then all fluo and neon pigments will bleed. So I'm expecting this. And sometimes when you're speckling, you also have some tiny, not pockets, but there is some dry powder that stays on top of your yarn and doesn't get fully wet. And you need to wash off those before you do anything else, because if you were to knit or crochet with yarn that have those little hard like clumps, yeah, clumps would be the better word. So clumps of dry powder, you would, first of all, it's not fun to have that when you're knitting, and it could compromise all of your knitting afterward. You would dye your fingers and it would be very unfortunate, and it would not be pleasant for anyone involved. And so this is an excellent, so this is one of the reasons why we need to do a few wash with when you're speckling, especially when you're speckling. But as soon as you have pigment that is neon, you know that you will be working a little bit harder, so that's fine. So I'm trying to use like the shower head sort of thing, so it's less harsh on the yarn. But yeah, so, and we had a lot of black in here, so there's like a gray tint to the water as well. Like I've mentioned quite often that I never know if it's truly gray or if it's just the shadows, because I'm filming in my basement and it's rather dark. Even though I have good lighting, sometimes I feel like it might not be pigment, it might just be a shadow, especially when I'm reviewing the footage from this angle. I'm pretty sure the angle I'm washing off the yarn creates shadows, and that's why I feel like I have to work a little bit more when I'm working with true black, also from Dharma Trading Co. I will have a link in the description box if you are interested in purchasing their dyes. It's not affiliated, it's just the dye I'm using, so if you're interested you can purchase it and try it for yourself. It's also included in their starter pack with other colors if you just want to get a go and have a few colors and like practice with color theory. So now we're good. We're going to put that in the spin drawer and let it dry overnight, and I will see the result in a second. And here's the final result of our attempted pickle jars of yarn that I realized I had too much volume of yarn to fit into my jar. So that's fine. I think we gained something super funky and still very fun. It is definitely more muted than if we were able to just keep it separate in the mason jar. So what I'm going to do next time is not use those bases. First of all, I'm discontinuing this yarn base because nobody purchased it on my website, so there's no point for me keeping space in my storage just to not have it sell. So I will be using something different next time, maybe worsted weight, just to see if I can fill it with 4 skeins, because I usually can put 4 skeins in it, but not this time. So it really gave fun colors. It's very interesting how, because you would think that putting everything in the mason jars, we would obtain like brown, but because of the resistance in it, we have more control than we think we have when it comes to the dye. Because of all the resistance, because we're squishing everything together, like you can see, we still have some like white spot on, it's almost white. So this is truly to show you the magic of resistance. So I hope you've liked the video. If you did, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye!